Whitby has no shortage of fish and chip shops, but that's only one type of harvest from the sea. In the shadow of St Mary's Church, the famous Whitby kippers are still smoked and sold by brothers Derek and Barry Brown in a business set up by their great-great-grandfather in 1872.
It's been part of our life since we were children. You know, we were brought up by our grandparents and uncle, and we were all encouraged to help when we were kids. I think we can access the fish a lot easier than my granddad. In them days, they would have to wait for maybe bad weather if boats couldn't get to sea, whereas now, with the fish being caught at sea, Norwegian, Icelandic, supplied, and frozen at sea, we can order fish today and have it delivered tomorrow to defrost, ready for producing kippers. This shop hasn't changed since we really opened for business. The exterior is the same, the interior is about the same. Following on from the shop is a smokehouse where we smoke the fish, and after that it's the prep area where we gut the fish and brine the fish pre-smoking.
And how important would you say that the harvest of the sea has been to Whitby over the years?
Massively important. Years ago it was very important to the community because there were a lot more people involved in the fishing industry, going back to before TVs and radio and stuff like that, so there was things to talk about such as work, fishing, and some of the places would be probably around the church where they'd might meet, you know, Sundays, or the chapels, just to talk about this sort of thing. But certainly around the quayside, the harbour side, and especially if someone was lost at sea, then the community came right together. Everyone would pull together for that particular reason, because the families were all probably big families in them days. And if they lost the breadwinner, they would need help from other families around, and that always works. You know, my granddad and my mother told us that sort of thing.
Can I have a pair of kippers and a pack of bacon twice, please? Say that.
And would you say the sea is still important to the people of Whitby?
Yes, and visitors alike. You know, people on yachts, on the marina. We have the 2 rowing clubs, which are very active during the summer months. So yeah, it is very important to people still, and people still take their living from it as well.
Salford is not a fishing port, of course, but it's a former port nonetheless, which handled the harvests of the world. And it's where our congregation are gathered, in a church dedicated to one of the patron saints of fishermen, St Peter. Dominating the windswept headland above the old town are the ruins of Whitby Abbey. Founded in the 7th century, the original abbey was led by St Hilda. One of her many wise decisions was discovering Caedmon, the first named poet in the English language. It's like a story from a modern-day talent show. Caedmon was a simple cowherd who had no confidence and believed himself to be tone-deaf. One night, he had a vision telling him to sing of God's creation, and the results were so beautiful that he's now known as the father of English sacred song. Just as creation inspired the psalmist and Cadman, its wonders have moved hymn writers throughout the ages to create their very own songs of praise, sung for us now by a congregation at Exeter Cathedral. This is a very special locomotive named in memory of the renowned railway photographer, the late Eric Tracy, who was Bishop of Wakefield. It's one of many engines owned by the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Now celebrating 40 years as a heritage railway, the line was first built to transport the harvests of land and sea, as well as early tourists. And it still attracts thousands of families, photographers and railway enthusiasts like volunteer signalman Adrian Gattrell.
We're being hauled by Sir Nigel Gresley, one of the famous A4 locomotives of the North Eastern Railway, and people come literally for miles around and ride on the train, take lots of photographs in this beautiful scenery that we're privileged to be in.
So what, no harvest link anymore, would you say?
I don't know, maybe tourism's a bit of a harvest, I think. Perhaps, coming to enjoy the scenery and enjoy the creation, as you can see out of the window, and enjoying the creativity of man. I mean, these beautiful old carriages and the steam locomotives, that's what people really want to come and enjoy, I think. I mean, I've been interested in trains for a long time, since I was a little lad, and then coming to live in this part of the country and enjoying steam trains and heritage railways. What better to sort of combine a hobby and an interest with doing something worthwhile, and volunteering and helping the railway to provide its service for the holidaymakers. I think it's good to meet other people, just to be involved with people in a different walk of life, and quite a few people who work on the railway know my occupation, and it gives them a chance, if they wanted to chat about stuff that they might be thinking about. I think it's fascinating because you just think of the skill and the expertise and the foresight, really, of building the railway. It's got some serious engineering feats on it, the trains, the locomotives, the carriages. I think it speaks something to me about, the skills that we have and the gifts that we've been given by God, I believe.
If we are the pinnacle of God's creation, then surely one of the highlights of man's God-given creativity are his inventions. And as the congregation at Hexham Abbey reminds us, all things should give thanks to God.